All right. It is episode 4 of season 2 of the Sisterhood with JennyB and Jayne Marie. Jayne, what was the highlight of your week? My dog's whining because nobody's home, so nobody can tend to her. Boise, I'm sorry. Carry on.
Oh, Boise. Highlight of my week probably would have had to be finally fucking figuring out how to do a reel 2 years later.
Woohoo! But Jayne,
that was so hard.
Yeah, but you did too, by the way.
Yeah. I still haven't figured out. So what I really want to be able to do, the reason I could have figured that out a lot sooner, but I was trying to do something different. And I think that's where I got myself screwed up. So what I really wanted to do was take clips from the podcast and do those in reels. I haven't mastered that yet, but I did master put the link to the YouTube channel show and attach a Taylor Swift song, which I will take your advice and attach the one from the episode. So this week will be the one from this episode that I'll do.
Woohoo! I love it.
But I do think, who doesn't love Are You Ready for It? Come on.
No. Are you ready? Are you ready for the Sisterhood with JennyB?
That's what I'm saying.
That's all I gotta say.
Right.
Oh man.
So that's probably the highlight of my week was finally, figuring that out, because I feel like it took way longer than it should have. But
you did it.
Yeah, I'm glad that I finally did it. Yeah.
Awesome. I love that, Jayne, and it was so cool. Wait, did you say one of them landed on it got both of them?
When you tag one of her songs in it, after, because reels only last for 24 hours, and then they retire or whatever. I don't really know if that's what they do.
I don't understand reels either.
They drop into they attach to her page because it's her song. So they attach to her song's page.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah. Oh my God.
So,
awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So my highlight of last week, even though I think it was last Sunday, but me and Jeff painted those. Jeff bought us surprise canvases of a 2 set of the Taylor Swift heart hands. Yeah. And one side was like palm trees and the other side was birds flying. And so I got the side of the birds and he got the side with the palm trees. And we set up a barrier at the kitchen table, and he stayed on one side, I stayed on the other. We weren't allowed to cheat. And then we both just freestyled our paintings. I had no idea Jeff actually, no offense. I just didn't know he could be so artistic. His painting was freaking beautiful. But it was just really cool to that he thought of doing something like that. And then it only took an hour. It wasn't it was a long amount of time, but we had so much freaking fun, and we jammed to the Eras tour in the background.
Nice.
So, and we have our little Taylor Swift cozy corner in our bedroom with our reading chase and all the stuff that I've acquired for Taylor Swift. And so we hung our little paintings up, and it's just so cute. And I really enjoyed that.
Okay. So when you say chase, do you mean chase?
It's not a chase lounge?
No, it's not a chase lounge.
That reminds me of a time Beth Butler, she got me into old fashions with an ED, and I kept posting pictures of them saying old fashioned, and she called my ass out, and now I know. But okay, well, that is interesting because I think it's spelled CHAISE.
Yeah, it's a chaise lounge.
Oh, chaise. Okay, interesting.
Or you can genify it and call it a chase lounge.
Oh, that's hilarious. You're going to hear my dog whine. Boise, I love you. All right, random question generator. If you could only ask one question to each person you meet, what would that question be?
Okay, you first.
All right, my question would be, what makes you feel happy? Because I feel like when someone's happy, what brings them happiness, I feel like you learn a lot about them, and then you could potentially help make them happy.
Right. No, I think that's good. I think mine was, what are you most passionate about? And I think it's because mine is maybe for more of a selfish reason, because then I can immediately tell if we have stuff in common.
Oh, that's actually pretty smart.
If I could only ask one question, that is. If I could more, that wouldn't be the only question I would ask. But I'm also feeling a little feisty today. I have my Find Your Fire cup.
Ooh, go girl.
And then I had to whip out one of my, can you see this?
No, come up higher.
My freaking camera's moving with me.
Revolution. Woo, baby. Woo!
Wait, so I've had cameras move with you, so it's super fun when you're trying to show something and it follows you
yeah.
off.
Yeah. True
How do you
story.
turn that off?
Jayne, can we have a contest for how long my girl will go before I acknowledge her? I'm not gonna, because she'll eventually quiet, and she is totally fine. For all the viewers, she is totally fine. We've been outside the entire day. Did yoga in the yard because the sun is out, and it feels like it's in the 70s. I don't know. I had a sweatshirt on and I had to take it off. Yeah. Oh, the sweatshirt you got me, the Comfrt.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It's in the wash.
I'm addicted. I literally have the light one that I got you.
Cotton.
Yeah, cotton. I think I got you cement because you got yourself cotton.
I got cement. Oh, yeah, cement's
So I have the cement one in the other version of it, but I have the cotton one in the version that I got you the cement one in.
Yeah.
And then, so I have a cotton, I have a cement, I have a black, I have a blue, the blue one that you're getting.
Oh, the one that I think you, wait, slate or the like cobalt? Oh, no, I love that one. Yeah. I love
that one. And then I think that's all I have right now. But I have 3 more coming in end of April.
Oh, girl.
Because I really liked the colors and they were all out. And honestly, remember last year when we got those like zip up hoodies that were like shorter? Yeah. So I love those, except like the shorter ones look so cute on you and I look ridiculous in them. I look like my shirt shrunk. And so
it's because I have literally no...
Right. You have a smaller...
I am very compact.
Yeah. I'm a little bit taller than you. So I feel like on me, it's not giving the same thing it's giving to you. So I have them and they're so cute, but I never wear them. So I'll probably end up donating them or giving them to somebody if they want them. But these ones, these big oversized comfy ones, I just love. And they fit so good. And I've been like at work all week, like my work from home days, I said, I'm wearing because they're slightly weighted sweatshirts and they're supposed to have anxiety. And so I've had like a couple of rough things happen at work this week. And so I was saying to my boss, like, I just have to wear my Comfrt sweatshirt because it helps with my anxiety.
It is weighted and it's so nice.
It is.
Literally, I wore it for 24 plus a couple more hours straight. And I'm like, all right, you need to put this in. I vacuumed the whole house in it and I might have sweated a little bit.
Yeah,
because
they're heavy.
Yeah.
I had mine on this morning when I took Bentley for his walk, and because Bentley will do his business, and then I get the bag out and I go to pick it up, and then he kicks dirt at me because he's trying to like cover it.
Yeah.
And so this morning, usually I pull him away fast enough that if he kicks in the other direction. But today I didn't pull him away fast enough, so he kicked a bunch of leaves at me.
Oh God. Yeah.
It got all over my sweatshirt. So I had to come home, take it off, spray it with all the stuff, put it in the wash so it wouldn't stain. Because it was the cotton color one. So
that light, beautiful.
Yeah.
It's kind of like apricot.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
But I'm addicted. And I'll just tell you this too. From this point forward, it's such a great gift idea because they're so
it really is
so nice. And if you order them in advance, you can get them pretty cheap, like $39.
Yeah.
If you do the order in advance, and when they're sold out and you do the order in advance, you still get the colors you want and they're like cheap.
Yeah, because I bet they're like, they figure out how many people are buying them and then they make a batch maybe.
Yep.
I have to say thank you so much for that, because when I went to use the restroom during work and I walked by the table and I'm like, I should not have any packages coming in because, I shouldn't. And I looked at it and I'm like, Comfrt? What?
Yeah.
Oh my God. And then I opened it and I'm like, my freaking sister, she's the only one that would have done this. And I might have teared up a little bit. I'm like, oh my God. And then I immediately had to put it on. And let me say, the weightedness of it feels like a hug.
It does. That's what I was saying the day that I wore it on the podcast, that they're just so comfortable and
it is long. So I wear leggings and it covers my ass.
It does. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Well, speaking of products, what product do you have for this week?
Okay, this is going to take me a second, and I hope my camera doesn't do the thing where it moves and I have to try to lift it. But, I love organization more than probably most. So not that long ago, I reorganized my medicine cabinet, and I got these off of Amazon, and they're huge. And, of course, I labeled them.
Oh, my God.
You didn't know that there was medication in there. But I'm going to hold the bottom one so I can just show this part, but they pull out.
Oh my God, that's brilliant.
So they go So they're in the closet on the shelf, and then you can pull out the drawer of whatever medication you need. I have like 6 of them.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Like all separated by like pain relievers and,
Oh, Jayne,
all the other stuff. So anyhow, I got them on Amazon, and they're perfect for what I use them for.
Yeah, that's awesome.
They're good in a bathroom too for like makeup and stuff.
I can, have I seen those in yours? And I just didn't even notice.
Probably didn't notice. I don't know how often you get in that closet in the hallway when you're here, but it's been a minute, not that long since I did it. I think it was like maybe in the last 3 or 4 months, because I was going through the medication and I had like a bunch of expired stuff.
Yeah.
So I just went on Amazon and ordered, everything I was getting rid of because it had expired. And then I was like, let me just reorganize these closets.
Yeah. Awesome. Jayne, what does organizing do for your brain?
I think it calms me a lot. It gives me like a sense of calm. It also gives me a sense of purpose. I think it also, seeing like a before and after, I think brings joy to me. But it also like,
so there's like closure from the work.
Yeah, it's like, and it's something I can control that doesn't hurt anybody. And so I think about that too. Like, I have a type A personality for sure, and I do like to be in control of things, and I can't control everything. And so things like organizing my space, it gives me this level of calm and control, but like control in not a bad way.
Yeah.
And also I think it gives me like a sense of security that my space isn't chaotic, so I feel relaxed.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Okay, so I can't remember if I've done GTs or not, but I talked about mud water a couple weeks ago. So this dry January, I've introduced bringing in, let me read the mushrooms, reishi, chaga, and turkey tail mushrooms, and the mud water. I think I read what was in those last week, or the week before maybe. But anyways, it's called GT's Alive Ancient Mushroom Elixir. This happens to be the root beer. My favorite is actually the ginger turmeric. They also make a lemon lime and a cola. And I like them all. And it's not soda. But I really like the ginger turmeric because I think that is just so good for your body in addition to the mushrooms. But yeah. So for about a month now, I've been between yoga and bringing in those drinks and just, cutting out all the alcohol. I wasn't really eating bad at all, but, making sure I'm on lockdown with just like being super intentional with what I put in my body, and not because of weight, more so because I just want to be as healthy as I can be. And I just want my body to know how much I appreciate it. And I think about choices I made earlier on in life and how, I would feel guilt the next day because I knew I did damage to my body, even if it was just a little. But I want to wake up at 4:30 in the morning and be wired and ready to go and just like in a state of joy. And so anyway, the mushrooms I feel like are a game changer. So I'm just going to read some information on it. So contain reishi, chaga, and turkey tail mushrooms, as well as raw apple cider vinegar, and it's organic. They only have 20 calories. And you can get them at like Publix or Lowe's here where I am. Lowe's, the food store. I'm sure. What's your store that you go to all the time?
Kroger.
I bet Kroger would have them because I think Kroger and Publix are a lot alike. Yeah. But it's in the vegetable section where you can get like. Now listen, I do believe even though it's in the vegetable section, you should do your research and see if it is right for you, because sometimes they have other like, they'll make shots of ginger and turmeric to like take. And I'm not saying they're good or bad, but I've done zero research on it. And just because it's in the vegetable aisle, I don't necessarily think it's healthy. But I've looked this up on their website. I've read the testimonials. And now that I've been drinking them, not every day, but, 4 times a week maybe, I think it's helping me with mental clarity. And also, and I've noticed this specifically the last 2 weeks at work, where like, when it's so busy and we're jumping from, different context switching, throughout every hour, it's a different item that you've got to be prepared for and whatever. Not that I was dragging. I wasn't dragging. I was still on point. But like, I have noticed in the last 2 weeks that like I'm retaining information and I'm making connections a lot faster. And I feel at peace and calm doing it. Not like I'm a spaz, but not like, manic trying to keep up with
Yeah.
everything. It's
Yeah.
way more calm. And I hope my friends at work notice, because I hope that what it's doing is helping me remain calm, cool, and collected when it feels a little bit chaotic.
Yeah.
And so anyway, I love it. I will continue to do it. Jeff tried it. He's not too much of a fan because it said like this says root beer. It's really got root beer root in it, so it's and I think the cola has root beer root in it as well, but just I don't know how they made it taste like cola to me, because I don't love sweets, so soda's not my jam. But to me, it does give me like a feeling of, I'm having like a little something fun to drink, but it's not super
Bad
sweet.
for you.
Yeah, and it's got great benefits to it. So GT's Alive Ancient Mushroom Elixir, and it's for energy, clarity, and mood, and it does have 5 grams of sugar in it.
So it doesn't taste like mushrooms, right? That's what you're saying?
No, but Jeff tasted my mud water yesterday, actually. I'm like, please, for the love of everything holy, will you just take a sip? It doesn't taste like coffee. It is nothing like coffee. Because I add just like raw cinnamon to it and a little bit of honey, like we do local honey just to kind of offset allergies and everything.
Yeah.
I put a little honey in it with the cashew milk, the mud water, and I like my pink Himalayan salt. And so he tried it. To me, because Cousin Kim asked me about it, and she's like, I know you said earthy, but what's it taste like? To me, it tastes like Cinnamon Toast Crunch, leftover milk from a cereal bowl. You don't like Cinnamon Toast Crunch?
I don't like leftover milk. Ew.
No. Okay, fine. Take the leftover milk out, but the end of the bowl that you're going to slurp, and if you don't, I'm sorry.
I never drank
Oh my
that.
God. When I ate cereal, I used to, actually my favorite cereal is Grape Nuts, but the leftover milk from Cinnamon Toast Crunch was really sweet. But the way I make it, it's not as sweet, but that's like the flavor it gives me. And Jeff's like, okay, it's not bad. He's like, I might be able to have one of those. Because
I think we need to find other terms than earthy, and that might help. And also, mud water sounds like drinking a mud puddle.
That's what they call it.
I feel like whoever's doing their marketing is leading them astray. I feel like maybe we don't call it mud water because
that's fair. It doesn't.
I wonder how many people don't even try it because they can't get past the name. They're like, "Who?" Mud water.
That's a
remember when I didn't try cheesecake for until I was 25 because I thought it was a cake made of cheese. And I was like, that's nasty. And then I tried it and I've loved it ever since. And I wish I never tried it because I didn't even
I remember that.
register to me that it was cream cheese and they put all this sugar and shit in it and lemon. Yum. And so I try really hard not to eat it, but I wish I had never tried it because when I thought it was cheesecake and I had grossed myself out of it, I didn't even have to worry about it. But that's mud water. I bet a lot of people don't try it just because of the name.
So it's going to take people like me. It's going to take boots on the ground. And I'm going to, anytime I'm drinking it around anyone, I'm making them take a sip. And they have to try it before they say they won't. Say that again.
Mushroom elixir sounds like you made it in the woods.
I think it's appealing. I think it's appealing to a population that is looking for something outside of, I don't know. The thought of mushrooms, I love mushrooms.
I like elixir. I feel like that sounds
Yeah.
Mushroom sounds like, fungus, because it is.
Yeah. True story. But mushrooms have so many benefits.
I know,
and they're so powerful.
I love mushrooms, but I don't want to drink them.
Yeah. It doesn't taste like mushrooms. It tastes like a tea with it tastes like a tea that's cooled down, so cold tea with bubbles.
So here's what I picture when you say mushroom elixir. I picture somebody out in the woods with a cauldron and they're boiling mushrooms in water.
That's my person.
And they're blending it up and then they're putting it in a glass bottle and then they're saying, here, Jayne, drink this and try not to throw up.
Yeah. But, and that very well could be how it's made, honestly. I picture, because I would love to be a person that goes out in the woods and finds their own mushrooms. I aspire to be, I don't even know where to start. I don't even know where to start.
Telling me this forever. Every time you see trees, you're like, I could be foraging for mushrooms.
It's so true. I do. I want to be a forager. I feel like I was born to do it. I just have to figure out where. I was thinking, if I could get Jeff on board, one of our next adventures, we could go do something like that where we meet someone that does know what they're doing and spend a day in the woods foraging for mushrooms. I personally feel like that.
And before you go out, you send me their name, contact information, social security number,
Yeah.
and so I can do a background check and make sure you're coming back from foraging for mushroom strip.
Exactly. I know. Thanks for keeping me safe, Jayne. Jayne,
I do what I can.
What else are you listening to or watching this week?
I don't think I've been listening to anything new or watching anything new. I think I've just been little bits of here and there. I'm trying to think. I did listen to a 2020 podcast the other day. I used to listen to true crime all the time.
Yeah.
And then I stopped listening to it because you and I were talking about how it like stays in your head and out like that. So I did listen to one the other day. It was like a 2020 or a Dateline or something. And it was interesting. It was about a woman who, her and her husband had an open relationship, and she met a younger guy, and they ended up killing the husband together. And then it. And then, you know, it took a while, but then obviously the police figured it out. And so it was interesting, but it wasn't, you know, it wasn't like, oh my gosh, best podcast ever. It was just an interesting story. I felt bad for them.
Yeah, that sucks. So back to the true crime, I literally used to fall asleep to it every night. And since I've switched to high frequency music or the binaural beats or whatever you sent me, that's been more recent, the one you sent me, but I switched to high frequency. It's probably been about 6 months because my anxiety was through the roof, and I was just trying to identify anything in my day that was, you know, pinging it. And that definitely, since I've cut that out, although I do think it's important we're informed. I do. Yeah. I can't just avoid all world news. I can't do that. But I shouldn't be falling asleep to true crime and like waking up in the middle of the night, and then it's a really, you know, scary part or whatever, and I can't go back to sleep, and I can't stop listening. Yeah. Where the high frequency music, and I think the dogs really love it too. And Jeff doesn't complain anymore because unfortunately, Jeff was also listening to it because we're in the same bed. So, anyway, I'm glad you switched too. Yeah. Yeah.
Every once in a while I listen to something, but not like I used to. I used to listen to it all the time.
I'm finding like even TV shows, even though I do still watch, you know, like last night we watched a 3-part episode of like Chicago Med, Chicago Fire, and Chicago PD. Mm-hmm. By the way, those shows are fucking phenomenal.
They are good, yeah.
But I love when they intertwine because that's how a city would work, you know? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so it was a really good one. But like even watching that, anything too violent, I can't do it. I just can't. And honestly, I can't handle the sight of blood to begin with, so that doesn't help. And I feel pain. Like if somebody gets punched, especially in the face, I feel like the aftermaths of that, and it just doesn't feel good. So I don't watch it anymore. All right. So Jayne, my friend, Blair Brown, I've brought her up before. She's awesome, but, she sent me this podcast by Mel Robbins called How to Manifest Anything You Want and Unlock the Unlimited Wonder of Your Mind with Dr. Jim Doty. I took some notes, and I've actually been practicing some of the things he said. Now, if anyone is interested in watching that podcast, I really do think it'll change your life. It's approximately 90 minutes long. And I think some people will struggle to watch it at first because Dr. Doty, literally, you can feel how much empathy he has and how grateful he is for life. But he cries a lot through the episode because he's just feels it so much. And I can so relate to that.
Overcome with yeah.
Yes, and it happens to me. I cry at least a couple times a day. And not because I'm sad, but just because, I don't know, I feel it. And I'm also not going to not feel it because I feel like it's important to feel it. But I think I'm just calling it out. Some people might struggle to be able to watch it. I hope they don't. I hope they can enjoy and embrace the fact that he feels so grateful, and to the point that it chokes him up while he's trying to talk.
Yeah.
Which would be my problem with being a singer, because as you know, from my every week singing, I literally would cry.
That would be challenging.
This is what he explained. So you use as many sensory tools as you can. So the first act is to write what you're trying to manifest down and then read it out loud and then actually sit and visualize it coming to life and being your reality. Mm-hmm. And you do that every day for whatever dream it is you're following and chasing, and you start taking small steps towards it. So what he explained it does is your mind starts to wander and you start to daydream, which as adults we struggle with daydreaming because we block that out. That's essential part of like building dreams, is to actually give yourself time to have dreams. And daydreaming, like sitting out on a swing in your backyard and, you know, looking at the trees and just thinking and, you know, dreaming about life, like it's healthy, but it creates a narrative of what you want. And as much as humanly possible, because we're all human, try to keep it positive, try to keep the thoughts positive, because what you're doing is reprogramming your mind, and you're starting with the default mode network, and we all deserve this. So how you activate these networks, there's a salience network, an attention network, and an executive control network. Salience is step one. Your mind realizes this deserves your attention and it's important to you. The attention network, think of it like a file cabinet. So you start filing it away and it becomes part of your subconscious. Mm-hmm. And then the executive control network, this chases down what's in your subconscious because this takes action. Right. And so you start forming habits. And he emphasized, Dr. Doty, starting small, not trying to like, now I'm a big person that likes to have goals January 1st. And he's actually anti that. He's more like start small, don't bite the whole, what is it? Elephant? Take one bite. I don't know the saying, but.
Don't bite off more than you can chew?
No, it's like you don't take a whole bite of the elephant. I don't know why we're eating.
Oh my God. I heard this. Okay. It's, I had to do a training about the changes that are coming to DEI due to the nonsense. And the woman said it. It was, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time.
Yes. Okay. And I'm sorry.
Like, what?
We aren't eating you. We love you. Right. But basically what he's saying is by doing this, you naturally start to form habits. You take it small and you just build and build and build. And then your dream starts to become your reality little by little. And you actually want to be in a state of gratitude and appreciate the process, not just the outcome. Because if you always just chase the outcome, once you get to the outcome, now you need something more. Mm-hmm. But if you're in a state of gratitude through the whole process, you know, you're just in a state of gratitude, which is a wonderful place to sit in, you know? Mm-hmm. So he explained you want to manifest with attention and intention. And the more you can quiet your mind to focus, the easier it gets. And I will say, I say it all the time. People are probably sick of it. But in freaking yoga, I am dead serious. This is a yoga that you don't sweat in. You don't have to worry about your hair getting shitty, you know, for work.
Yeah.
If you have 15 minutes, you can sit and child's pose and just breathe and quiet your mind. And that is yin yoga. And then you must let your mask down and truly focus on your own authenticity. Show your emotions, feel your emotions, be yourself, and get to a point where you can accept yourself as you are in the present moment. So I really enjoyed that podcast. I got a lot out of it.
Yeah.
It's rare that I'm sitting there taking notes during a podcast, but for that one, I kept rewinding and going back and making sure I was really understanding it. And I've read my notes a couple times now. And I've been practicing, and I have proof somewhere around here. Oh, I've got a lot of these because I don't like to waste. And the little tab that comes out of a tissue paper. Jayne, you want me to read it to you? I just keep writing this over and over. The sisterhood with JennyB and Jayne Marie will be our career. We will spread joy across the world.
Yay.
Yes.
Love it.
Because that's what's going to happen. All right, Jayne. Things that make you go,
So I had somebody sent this to me the other day and I thought it was really interesting. Different perspective or perception, I guess.
Yeah.
Or I guess perspective. But it said, you're not healing to be able to handle trauma, pain, anxiety, or depression. You're used to those. You're healing to be able to handle joy and accept happiness back into your life. And I was like, whoa.
Yeah. Say that again. Say that slow.
You're not healing to be able to handle trauma, pain, anxiety, or depression. You're used to those. you're healing to be able to handle joy and accept happiness back into your life.
Ooh,
and I was like, huh. I mean, it makes total sense, but I don't think I had ever thought about it like that. I think I just, you know, like we're healing to be able to handle more, but really no, we're healing. We already do that. So I was like, oh, okay. So that was definitely something that made me think. When I read it, I was like, wow, that was a lot.
Yeah. No, I love that. So things that made me go,
Yeah.
You know, I love my daily tarot.
I do.
And I've gotten into a new deck, and this one's, I love the deck. It's really cool. I still use my old deck as well, and I still actually listen to my many tarot. My dogs are going to bark. My many tarot readers on TikTok. I feel like we're friends. But anyways, so 3 days in a row, I've pulled the Page of Cups. And then this is this week. Prior to that, I told you about the Page of Cups because I had pulled it, and then I had heard my my favorite tarot reader, Tarot Teeny, and
shout out.
She didn't say it was she. I don't remember if she said Page of Cups or not, but she said the same thing that I had documented. I always write my tarot out, and so the Page of Cups, there is on my deck, it talks about when pigs fly doesn't exist in your reality because in your reality pigs can fly, which I take as the utmost compliment. That basically I can make any fucking thing happen. Anything. Yeah. Close the door.
Okay.
Okay. Done. Oh, and I got to show my 90s outfit.
Yeah, cute.
All right. So anyways, I feel like that's the reality of the sisterhood with JennyB and Jayne Marie. People might think, when pigs fly, that'll happen. But hey, guess what? We actually have a podcast. So it is happening.
And we're on season 2.
We're on season 2, and slowly but surely, but every day we've had progress since we went out to YouTube.
Yeah.
We are gaining views. We are gaining time viewed because that matters too. Some people cut off early, and we are gaining subscribers.
Right.
And I keep reminding myself, and I feel like you feel the same way, that it's not about like getting famous or like, no, it's about like, if we can bring a little bit of laughs, a little bit of joy into people's lives, the way we enjoy our conversations.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's so good.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that's exciting. I also think that you figuring out YouTube and me kind of figuring out Reels. I'm not done yet. I know I can do better, but we still have to figure out Apple Podcasts. We haven't figured that one out yet. That one's got some steps, but we are making progress, and
we are exactly.
And,
baby steps, because we can't get overwhelmed, and we still have all our other responsibilities. So, and I think it needs to remain something we look forward to doing, not like it feels like work.
Like
and
a job.
So I feel like our pace is great, and I think we've gotten more consistent. I think we figured out our flow, that makes sense. So we've had some major wins, and I fucking love it. And I also feel like we've always had obviously an intense connection, literally, since I shoved you down the stairs in a laundry basket when you were the ripe old age of 3 months old.
Exactly. A hill, and you thought you were sledding.
No, this is when I locked Mom out of the house.
Oh, and she had to break the window?
Yeah.
The picture window to get in?
Yeah. The picture window. That was always a good one. But anyway, we've always had that connection. But I just feel like it's developing even more because, I don't know, we have something we get to collaborate on, be creative with, and, share ideas with, and execute together.
Do you wonder if I have Stockholm Syndrome? Like I've just finally connected with my captor? Because I just wonder, because you tried to kill me so many times as a child.
I know. Can we talk about a few?
Sure. I mean, there was the one where I do remember the laundry basket thing. I do remember the one where you locked Mom out of the house. You were trying to pull me out of
the car seat.
No, it might have been the car seat or the high chair, but I was strapped in, and I think
she had you on like a car seat on the table, and you were locked in.
You were trying to pull me out by the neck.
And I had you by the neck, and she took a shot.
After you on purpose went and closed the front door and locked it.
Because I was so smart.
And then tried to pull me out by the neck. Mom couldn't reason with you and had to break a window. Dad was very
But Jayne, I just want you to know, I wasn't trying to kill you. I was trying to hug you and hold you. And she wouldn't let me hold you all the time. And I wanted to hold you all the fucking time.
Okay. Well, what about when we went sledding and I was in my fucking one-man suit and I was a baby and you pushed me down the hill? You were supposed to go with me and so was Dad, I think. And then
I think I was probably scared, so I was like, she can go.
You were like, let Jayne give it a shot. See how she makes out. See if she gets launched into a snowbank.
Oh my God. I was a terrible older sister.
I'm trying to think what else. There were so many.
I remember one day, this was when we got older, and we were playing basketball, and I was mean to you, and I'm so sorry. And Kim Delmar, bless your soul, Kim Delmar, because you stepped in and put me in my place, and I loved her. She was one of my idols.
Yeah.
And I still love her. And I still remember that, and she was right, and I'm glad she stepped in, but I don't know why, because I see it with Blake and Brody, too, when they played sports. I have a meme I made of Blake finger pointing Brody in the face and like hand back to, and another photo where he's going to take a bat to his head while Brody's innocently just saying geez. And I don't know what it is with that dynamic or if it's just in our DNA, but I wish it didn't happen like that when we were younger.
I can relate to those pictures on a cellular level though.
I know.
I remember one time we were playing field hockey and it had to be high school. Because you were, because I was on varsity, so it was definitely high school for me. You made varsity much younger, but I remember I was a wing and you were a center, and we were going down the middle of the field, and for whatever reason, you had no choice but to pass to me. Like there was nobody else available. Which was the only time you passed me, but that's all right. It counted.
Oh, that's so fucking mean,
you passed the ball to me, and on the first one, when I went to hit it in, it bounced, and I missed it, and so I missed the pass, and you like threw your stick on the ground and ran up to me and were like in my face and yelling at me. And I remember T.L., God love her.
So sad.
It was like, you don't talk to your teammates like that and blah, 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 blah. And you were like, well, she could hit the ball. And I don't know. It was like a whole thing. And then the second time down, I was like, that bitch, I will fucking throw my body to hit this ball. There's no way I'm missing it.
Did you score?
And so I did. And then I remember you just walked away. Like, that's how you're supposed to do it. And then you just walked away.
I'm so fucking sorry. I wish I wasn't like that.
I mean, I think if I was in the older position, maybe I would have been like that. And I don't know. Like, I think maybe that's like just how it is, older and younger, when you're on the same team. I wonder about other people who played sports with their close in age siblings.
Yeah.
If they had similar experiences to us, because I think it would have been like you were really, really good at field hockey. And so I think you expected me to rise to the occasion, and it just wasn't. Like, I loved playing it, but I knew I wasn't the star of the team, nor was I going to be. I just enjoyed being out there. I liked being a part of the team. I liked, trying.
Yeah.
But I certainly wasn't an all-star.
But Jayne, you were a skilled field hockey player. And really what I should have done, and if I could do it over, we should have been practicing outside of the two of us, because this is what's amazing about siblings. When they're playing together all the time, there is a connection that no other teammates can have. It's just and I could have nourished that instead of fucking shaming you and,
Well, but I think, when you're kids, you're not thinking like 46-and-a-half-year-old Jenny
finally realizes
versus 16-year-old Jenny, because again, 45, also younger, 45-year-old Jayne versus 14-and-a-half, 15-year-old Jayne probably would respond to things differently. And I was no angel. I was just slicker about it. I was just doing things on the low.
Yeah, you were.
So I definitely.
But you didn't. Yours was in the mindset of like survival and getting even. I was just a fucking raging bitch. And
well, it was survival and getting even, and it was also that you were my big sister, so I just wanted to do whatever I could to be around you or spend time with you or
Jayne,
on a team with you or whatever. But I love you too.
I'm so sorry.
I got really emotional the other day about the plane crash that we just had in DC, when it showed the two siblings, the two sisters, figure skaters that were a team.
Yeah.
And they were younger and older, and they skated together. And I was thinking, like, it's so sad what happened. And I feel so much for their family and their loved ones and everything. But I thought to myself, at least they had that. Like, at least
they had each other. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just such a horrible tragedy.
Yeah, it really is. Jayne, I'm really sorry I treated you like that.
You don't have to apologize, Jenny. It was like 25 years ago.
I know, but I don't know what, if any good came out of that, but I do know you're a badass motherfucker, and I
told you, you helped me. You encouraged my inner petty bitch, and she lived well.
Oh my god, that's so funny, Jayne.
She's alive and well.
Oh shit, Jayne. Jayne, experiences that have humbled Jayne in her 40s.
This week? Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, so my newest, because I always have a project that I'm working on or I'm going to work on, and I love organization, and I was thinking about this the other day, and I think this just probably is more about me personally. Like, I'm a caregiver person. We know that's my personality type. So although I always am doing projects in my house, one of the things I noticed the other day is most of my projects are like for somebody else, or like common areas of the house, but like my bedroom, my closet, my bathroom are always the last one to get anything. It's always Olivia's bathroom or something in the basement for mom or something on the first floor that everybody can enjoy. And so I was thinking about, like, I need to go through my closet because it's out of control and I hate it. And I was thinking about, like, I really need to organize it, and I need to put some type of organizational system in there, because what's in there now is just the wire shelves that were there when I bought the house. Like, just, it's not functional. It's not, I mean, it just is a mess. And so I started researching like DIYs on how I could do like a custom looking closet without paying $1,000 for it. Yeah. So I have some really good IKEA ideas on like some bookcases. I think I'm going to use either the Billy bookcases or the other ones that I really liked. Yeah. And I'm going to, put in an organizational structure. So I've already sketched out the closet. I've done all my measurements. I figured out what ones, like, remember how I did the dining room? I wanted to do I love that. Like, that's what I thought Mom was talking about for shelving in the basement, your dining room area. Yeah, I was, but I wanted built-ins, but they were like $10,000. I was like, I cannot afford that. Yeah. And so what I did instead was did all the measurements, went to IKEA, built all the stuff myself. And now I have like all this functional storage on a wall that was just nothing and just a waste of space. And so, and upstairs in my hallway, I had a spot where there should be a closet, but there isn't a closet. It's too expensive to put a closet in. And it's like under where my ladder drops for the attic. Yeah. And so I found, I did the same thing. I measured, I found something that works for me off IKEA. I built it myself and I put it in. So I'm going to do the same thing with my closet. So what I'll do is, Livia's really good at making videos. I'm not. Yeah. But what I'll do is do the thing where you walk in and you see the whole mess of a closet that I have right now. When I'm all done, I'll do the second part where you walk in and see the I'm so excited. Yeah. And so when I do, then you'll be able to see. But I have some good ideas, and I've been working on it for the last week, like just measuring and stuff. So today and tomorrow I'm going to start going through the closet, because I have to take everything out, take everything down. I'm going to paint. And then I'll put in the new system after that and put everything back up. So it's probably going to take me 2 or 3 weeks, because I'll have to do it on the weekend until I get to where I need it to be. But it's hard for me because I don't live well in a mess. And so every step I have to be able to put it back together after. Yeah. Yeah. So that, because I can't live with that for another week while I'm waiting for the next weekend to do the next part. So wait, what I was going to tell you is just to take a second, because I am super fucking proud of you, because I think this might be the first time in your life you've put you first for a minute. Probably. Might be. And you're going to feel so rewarded. And it's so good to do that. And it's so good for your space too. And I'm just super proud of you. Does it count putting yourself first if you've technically already taken care of everybody else? No, that's actually a good point. It's the last room in your house. But like the fact that you're even going to, put a little time and effort and money into it and make it a priority. I guess why this connects to being humbled in my 40s is like the idea, this is a big project, and the idea of starting it, I keep putting it off because I'm like, I'm so tired. Yeah. Do I really want to dive into this? Because I'm going to have to pull like 2 all-nighters on the weekend to then go work all week and do the same thing next weekend and probably the weekend after before. Well, if you actually do put it back together with each step of the way, you could break and do every other week and not... Instead, slow it down a little, and it's back to a manageable space. So you're not going to be nuts during those 2 work weeks, but like break it up. Don't do it
3 weekends in a row. Do it. Take 2 months to do it.
Yeah. And this weekend will be today, rest of today and tomorrow will be the clean out day because next weekend I need to be able to take it down and paint everything. Like my walls in there, I painted it when I first bought the house, but I don't like the color and it doesn't match the aesthetic of the bedroom now. I'm
so excited to see that.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really nice. It'll be a budget version, but I'll keep track of what I spend and what, not sweat equity, but like what I spend to do it. Like I've got paint, because I'll do it the same color as the rest of that house, which is like a off-white or like a creamy white.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think I've decided I'm going to do black. The bookshelves that I'm going to use are black. Yeah. And there's ones that have like shelves where you can put, folded clothing. And then there's ones that have doors. So I think I'm going to mix and match to have like some without doors.
I like the idea of the black. That's going to be awesome.
And I think the black with the creamy white walls will be really modern looking. So I think that'll look really nice. Because white on white.
Instead of doing the contact paper or whatever will also be easier.
Yeah. And the white on white's pretty boring. So I don't want to do that. But I do think I want white walls because I want it to be really bright in there. And then I think the black is a nice contrast.
Yeah, that's going to look awesome. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited. We'll see how it goes.
Jayne, I had my eye exam this week.
Okay, how's that?
They deteriorated. Thank you, 40s.
Yeah.
Again, so I had to, my green glasses, the green, like they're like turquoise kind of color that I wear all the time. I have these as a backup. These are I like these too, but I like the green better because I feel like it's a neutral color, but it's also not a normal neutral color. So it's a JennyB color. I like these, color. But I don't feel I can wear these with everything. The green, the neutral green, I can wear with everything. But, so I had to get a combination of readers and whatever not reader is. And let me tell you, the lenses alone, because I sent out the green glasses so they can replace the lenses, $450 freaking bucks for the lenses. And I've been telling them because like every day, although it hasn't been happening in the last couple of weeks, but almost every day prior to that, I would get these moments. Now I'm on a laptop, 10 to 12 hours a day, but I have big screens and everything, but still I'm looking at a computer screen for a long time every day. And so about 3:00 in the afternoon, and I'll get my second wind right after that. But like my eyes just start wanting to close. I get like, not a headache, but it's like a weird feeling. And I blink a lot and I can't control it. So I was telling the eye doctor that. So I also have a sensitivity to like thinking about the internal workings of my body. Like, for example, in 6th grade, they taught us how to take our pulse and I passed out. And it just, I don't know why, because I love my body, but I don't want to think about all the things happening, blood flow and all that. No. So anyway, I was thinking when the doctor started talking about it, maybe I should tell him that. But I decided not to, so I didn't follow my gut. Well, so he's like, okay, I'm going to do a test because I explained that. And he's like, I need to check. I'm going to get sick just thinking about it. He touched this area right here, like where your eyes make oil to like help liquid, flush through your eyes.
Yeah.
And so he did these tests and he said, Jenny, it's like your eyes have been running a marathon every single day. He's like, you have no tears, like, nothing, no oil in your eye ducts. And then he pressed on it. So then I was like, you have to stop, because he started to tell me about it, like what was going on internally. And literally I felt my jaw clench. I fucking flushed with a full body hot flash. The same shit that's happened to me 3 times now.
Yeah.
But this time there was no alcohol involved. Like I was at the freaking eye doctor at, 8 a.m.
Yeah.
And so I did have to take 2 minutes and breathe. I was able to get myself under control, but I was completely saturated. And all it is Jayne, all it is now I have to put these eye drops, Sustain, just over the counter. $15 though for this little bitty bitch. I'm like, what the fuck? But twice a day. And he said, when you wake up in the morning, take a hot washcloth, put them on your eyes to like wake your eyes up, and before you go to bed, do the same thing. So I've been doing it since Wednesday, and I haven't had the blinking thing happen since.
So remember last year when I had that thing on my eye that I couldn't heal?
Yeah.
That's how it started for me. It was the same thing. My oil ducts were blocked.
Oof.
And,
Jayne.
and he said it was, my doctor told me it was from staring at a screen. And he's like, he told me throughout the day.
You got to tell yourself to blink. We have to blink more.
And he said throughout the day, every hour, try to make yourself, even if you have to set a reminder on your watch, to look away from the screen and like focus on things far away. And that'll make you blink.
Yeah.
And I believe the word you were looking for earlier when you were saying liquefy was lubrication, but that's okay. I didn't want to cut you off and stop your story, but I knew what you meant.
Thank you. I just am not a person that can retain the right words, but usually my audience gets what I'm trying to say.
They knew when you said liquefy, because that sounds even worse if you want to pass out right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember when I can't remember what surgery it was, but whatever one it was, the woman kept missing my vein when they were trying to give me that.
Oh, Jayne.
It was like the third time. No, it might have been the second time. I had to get 3 pricks before she finally got it. But the second time you had to put your head between your legs because there was 1 drop of blood on the blanket.
Oh my God.
And you literally were like, oh my God. And I have a picture of it and your legs are spread wide and your head is between your legs.
I just can't. I think I figured it out. I've known this my whole life and people did not believe me, but I literally have, is it visceral effect? Is that what it is?
Oh, that you have like a visceral response?
Yeah. To I don't know. Like I still, like when people have to take my pulse, I just want to vomit. I just think like, why do you need to know my heartbeat and like where it's, how it's cascading out? And like, I don't know, just bodies are amazing. And if I see it on a chart or something, that's fine. But when I see it in actual internal form and all the things.
Jenny, remember when I got my gallbladder out and I almost died and mom had to do wound care on me
because
of the pandemic and nobody could, like home health wasn't available because like the nurses were too busy, dealing with the pandemic.
Yeah.
And I had to go into my doctor's office and because nobody could come in with me. And he was showing me, that was when I had a wound and he was showing me and I was recording it on my camera to show mom so she could do it because we had to pack my wound at home.
And if for anyone who's had no experience with wound care, you are internally it's like
you're inside somebody's body.
You're in their open wound that goes down layers into their body. Like the pain that you went through with that. And also they barely use freaking any sort of like what's it called to numb it? Like nothing.
Yeah. They should.
And it's mostly the elderly that get this, and they don't know to like advocate for themselves.
I will say this: if you do have a loved one in wound care, just check in with them and make sure somebody's offering them lidocaine because sometimes the wound care providers, God love them all, we need them. But I think if they've never had wound care, they don't realize how painful it is, and it is incredibly painful. Like the number of times I nearly came off the fucking table, I can't even tell you.
Oh, and just your PTSD from it.
Oh my God, the trauma. But before, one nurse said to me, I got labeled a problem patient because I said, like, this is torture, what you guys put me through and I had to do it 3 times a week in the beginning.
Yeah.
And the one nurse said, honey, why don't we give you some lidocaine? Does that not work for you? And I said, what's that? And she was like, I'd been there 5 times at that point. And she said, nobody's giving you lidocaine? And I said, no. And she told me, she was like, we put the topical on, we pour the liquid in, we cover it. She said, do not watch the clock. Do not let anybody touch you for 10 minutes. And then you won't feel it. Then you'll just feel that somebody's doing something, but it won't come.
Why isn't that just common practice? Because what broke my heart was when you told me the story about like there were elderly people that were getting wound care and they looked forward to it because it was the one time a week they got to talk to somebody outside of like
get out of the house.
And it's in torture. And it's like that made me so sad.
One day I went in and we had to wear masks. And when you go in, they would take your temperature with like the gun one on your forehead. And the elderly woman, she was probably in her 80s and she must have come from a home of some sort because she was there with staff members. And I remember her saying I remember you go in and you get your height and weight or whatever, and they take your temperature again. They make you take off your mask because then they do like a mouth thermometer. Yeah. And I remember the woman's pinched the nurse. Aww. And she was being confronted by the staff members in the lobby about it. Aww. And I said to her, ma'am, can I ask what happened? And she said, I didn't want to take my mask off. They already did my temperature. I didn't know why. I don't want to get COVID. It'll kill me. And I said, that's understandable. So I was looking at her staff members, like, first of all, don't talk to her like a fucking baby. She's 80 something years old. She's raised kids. She's had a life. Like, please don't assume she can't be talked to like the adult that she is.
Yeah.
So I said, are you worried about your appointment? And she said, yeah, it's terribly painful. And she had a huge gash in her leg. I could see the bone. It was disgusting. It looked horribly painful. And so I said, do they give you lidocaine? And she said, no. And I said, okay, this is what you need to do. And I told her what the nurse told me.
Yeah.
And she went in, and the woman said, when they brought her out, the staff member came over and said, I would love to give you a hug. Obviously, we could not do that because of COVID.
Yeah.
And she said that was the first wound care appointment where we didn't have to hold her down.
Aww.
And I was like heartbroken because I was thinking, like, what kind of fucking torture chamber is this?
Yeah.
That we're not. It's one thing if you have somebody who has like a lidocaine allergy or something, but to just do it this way because it's faster and you don't have to wait 10 minutes is bullshit.
Yeah.
So I was livid. So I wrote a letter to the
it's my sister,
director of the wound care clinic. I wrote out all my whole experience. I, am thankful for the wound care people and that the job needs to be done. But I think sometimes, again, we get this feeling of it's not that bad because we're not going through it. And just because you do it every day doesn't mean you don't know. And the number of times they said to me, nobody has pain like this during wound care. Like, this is a you thing. And I was like, no, the fuck it isn't. This is digging around in my open wound. Yeah. So anybody who you think is not feeling that, you're wrong. You're just wrong.
Yeah.
And I have a high threshold for pain. So I just don't believe that. And so that's what I said to the director, that, you need to do a retraining and remind people that this is not, they have no idea what these people are going through. Yeah. And it's hard enough.
And so just think, when you have a wound,
that should be the first thing they offer.
Exactly. But also think of the state the person's in. They're in a miserable state of life. If they're in constant pain. And then the highlight of their day is to go to wound care. And then they know they're going to be tortured. And it's like, imagine that person can't be happy-go-lucky. Like, you're dealing with people that are going to be upset and in pain. And it's like, you can't make their freaking, situation any easier? Not a little bit?
Right. Well, and also recognize this. If it was your mother or your daughter or your son or your sister, would you be allowing somebody to dig in their open wound without giving them some kind of numbing agent? Like, it's just, sometimes I think we just have to go back to common sense. How would you feel? Like, golden rule it. Don't do it to me if you wouldn't do it to you. And I highly doubt you'd be like, no, Jayne, dig in, dig on.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's incredibly painful. So anyhow, that was such a tangent.
Jayne, you're such a good human, though. I'm so glad you advocated. And just think, that lady probably had many more months of wound care if that's how bad her.
Oh yeah.
And now you made it a little bit better.
A little bit, more, a little bit more tolerable, hopefully. But also, I think stuff like that, everything happens for a reason, and there is a purpose to everything. And I do think I had never been through wound care, but I was working in a field where lots of people were in it. And so I was able to get a lot of that information to people that I worked with and people that worked with people. We worked with a lot of elderly people. And wounds are just something that, if you can't move around a lot, is a part of life, unfortunately. And they're incredible. So hopefully we were able to lighten it for some.
Yeah, I think you did for sure. Jayne, favorite part, Taylor Swift song focused lyrics.
Here we go.
All right. So this week we are doing Karma from the Midnight's album. Crap, another dead microphone.
No.
Sorry, Jayne.
Oh no.
Okay, from the Midnight's album, and it starts like this. No, my favorite section of the song. And I keep my side of the street clean. You wouldn't know what I mean. 'Cause karma is my boyfriend. Karma is a god. Karma is a breeze in my hair on the weekend. Karma's a relaxing thought. Aren't you envious? But for you, it's not. I used to think she was speaking Spanish there. Sweet like honey, karma is a cat. Purring in my lap 'cause it loves me. Flexing like a goddamn acrobat. Me and karma vibe like that. I also used to think it said, let's become a vibe like that. I love when I read the words after I think I already know the song.
Yeah.
Ask me what I learned from all these years. Ask me what I earned from all those tears. Ask me why so many fade, but I'm still here. 'Cause karma is the thunder, rattling your ground. Karma's on your scent like a bounty hunter. Karma's gonna track you down, step by step from town to town. Sweet like justice, karma is the queen. Karma takes all my friends to the summit. Karma is the guy on the Chiefs, coming straight home to me. Go Chiefs!
Jenny, how come your favorite lyrics turned into half the song?
I know, I love that whole song so much. Especially because she changed the words during the era after she fell in love. And I don't know if you're seeing my Chiefs sleeves over here.
I am.
I am fucking wearing that bad bitch to the Super Bowl party. And Jeff got a shirt that says 87, Taylor's boyfriend.
I love that.
I know, I'm so excited.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
No,
Jayne,
I love Karma.
I love that song.
Why do I love it?
Yeah.
Because I just think karma's a reality that we all live with. And I like the way she talks about it. And I like her examples. And she's so damn lovable. And so are her songs.
I know. My actual favorite part of the song is, and I keep my side of the street clean. This is me sweeping.
Yeah.
Because it's in one of my favorite Peloton go-to rides. And when I really, really listened to the words of that song, I was like, I so believe in karma. I believe you put out good and good comes back to you, especially when you're focusing on the good. Yeah. And I think Taylor Swift does that. I feel like she's human. I'm sure she makes mistakes and all, but like the majority of what she does is good. And I want good to come back to her.
And I also think that line was written for me. And because both figuratively and in reality.
It's your favorite thing to do.
And symbolically, I do keep my side of the street clean.
Yes, you do. So that's your anthem?
Yeah.
All right, Jayne, what's a promise you have or going to keep and make to yourself this coming week? Ooh, you got closet.
I was going to say I'm going to work on my closet for sure.
Okay. Ooh, you can bring an update next week.
Yeah, I will.
I'm bringing an update from last week. I have literally every day but one because it was raining out and I just couldn't get out and get back in time. Kissed and hugged every fucking tree in my yard. All of them, my babies. And I've got to tell you, I felt so good after. Every time I finished my walk around my yard and gave attention to every single tree, my walk back into my house, I just felt elevated.
Did Mom sent you something this morning? She told me about it that said 10 things that happen when you hug a tree.
Yeah, I believe it because I feel it. So anyone not, I feel like you gotta just give it a try. I swear to God, it's grounding. And if you can have your shoes off and your bare feet on the earth while you're doing it, it's even better.
Yeah.
It might be subtle to some people. For me, it's a magical experience. And I feel like maybe it's because I know a lot of people don't think that it's real. Yeah. And I know it's real that I feel like I'm just, it helps me be like, I'm one of a kind.
Your open mind allows the vibrations probably to hit much harder than
maybe
who's less likely to. Yeah.
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 All right. So a promise I'm going to have make and keep to myself for this week. So Jeff and I just finished dry January. We went the whole month with no alcohol and limiting spending, all the things, like reining it all in. And what I realized, and I say it every year, but it's really true. We are so fucking connected by the end of that month. Like, we're on such a good wavelength. We are basically communicating without talking. We, have daily rituals like getting up early, doing our yoga, taking the girls for a ride. So like we have already had time together before the workday even starts. And then, we try to pass each other during lunch. If we can't actually sit down and eat for 15 minutes, we will. But if we can't, then he makes me lunch and brings it to me. And, after work, we usually find a show. Actually, we took walks some nights, but then it snowed and all that. But the one thing I feel like I am going to make a priority is to not just let like life get totally back to normal where we just get so busy. And it's like, not that we're not connected, but like this level of connection, I feel like is obtainable all the time if we're nurturing our relationship. And I can't expect him to, think the way I think and do the things I want him to do. And I don't expect that. But for what I can control, I really want to continue to nurture our relationship and just keep building what we have and the good habits that we've made. I'd like to carry, and we are going to continue doing morning yoga and driving the girls. We did that anyways. Yeah. But I think so. That's my promise I'm going to keep to myself for the next week, is to really be intentional with just showering Jeff with love.
Well, there you go. I love it. And I'm sure Jeff does too.
Jeff does. And it's almost his birthday.
I'm sorry. Bebop.
Bebop. Exactly. So next Friday is Jeff's birthday, and then next Sunday is the Super Bowl. We always have that big party at our house. So it's going to be a good weekend.
Super fun.
Yeah. All right, Jayne, we'll go get to closet duty. I got to go pick Stanley up from the golf course.
Oh, hell.
Yeah. I dropped him off at freaking 8 this morning, and his buddies already had a beer in the cart for him. I'm like, guys, it's 8. Literally, I said, Jeff, please don't drink IPAs. Please stick to Mick Ultra. Please take it slow. Your body is not used to this, but have fun and do what you got to do. I'm driving, so...
I mean, he had been out of Drive January for a solid 8 hours at that point.
I know.
So
exactly.
That was real commitment there.
But he already said, he's like, I am not drinking tomorrow. He's like, where normally, it would be like, oh, have a couple beers Saturday, hang out, golf, and then have a couple beers on Sunday. He's like, I want the day off. So That's already progress. I'm proud of him.
I love that for him.
Yeah, me too. So, all right, Jayne. Well, I love you.
Love you too.
And I will get this posted shortly.
All right. I'll make some reels.
Okay. Love you.
Right, love you.
Let me hit stop. Bye.